start. Let me just start really quick. Okay, guys, tap the screen for hearts. I'm gonna. I'm actually live on Blab, so I know a lot of my
hi,
people.
Periscope.
Yeah. I know a lot of my people are live. Are actually very used to getting on Blab, and I just wanted you guys to see. So we're gonna. If you're not on Blab, jump over to Blab. You'll be able to see. I'm actually being interviewed by Jenny Q right now, and we're gonna be talking about Periscope. So yeah, it's definitely a good topic, and I've got because I'm not obviously using I'm not using my earbuds. I actually typically what I'll do is I'll use my earbuds for Blab because that way there's not a lot of reverberation, and sometimes you can get reverberation if you're in a Blab and you don't use your earbuds. So so what's really cool is that obviously you guys have all seen me. Hey Nancy, so Nancy's on. We got 28 people on Periscope. Not a lot in the afternoon. It's usually pretty busy, but I mean, it's pretty neat that you can actually do this kind of. I did one of these with Sean in the very beginning, from Blab, and yeah, it was. I learned a lot. Go landscape. Oh, you know what? That's a good point. To go landscape.
Ooh, bam!
Good idea. Okay.
What a great idea.
That's what's so cool about this particular. That's why I recommend. I've got the coolest gadgets as you know. That's why, bam.
Look at that. Look how easy that was.
How cool is that, right?
Way easy. Way cool.
Right, now watch. So now I can go landscape and okay, so 38 people are on right now. What in the world? Hold on. Okay. But comments are sideways. So this is pretty cool because now you guys can see, you can even see the comments here. Hold on.
So now the people on the landscape Periscope can see the comments on the Blab screen?
They should almost now because landscape is so wide. Okay, so that's pretty interesting.
Very cool.
Okay, so let me
that.
yeah, that is pretty neat. So if I scrunch this up a little bit and I make the comments, yeah, you can. The video is a little bit smaller, but this is just kind of a neat little test here.
Very cool. And you were here to see it live on Blab. Bam.
Right? There we go. So
on the Daily Q show. Okay.
Okay, let's get started.
Are we ready? Okay, I'm going to hit record.
Okay.
And we'll go on the record.
Okay.
Okay. All right, here we go. You guys, before we do, thank you so much for joining all the live viewers. It's awesome to have you. If you haven't yet, please tell a little bird. And if you can also, if you have a question, type /Q, leave a space, and then your question. And I'm going to open up the seats a little bit for you guys to jump in and ask your questions live if you'd rather. All right, here we go.
All right.
Here we go. Big breath. Okay. Hi there. Welcome to the Daily Q. My name is Jennifer Quinn, also known as @JennyQ, and we are here today with an interview. The Daily Q show is where I interview people who have demonstrated excellence in their field, and I have the Periscope specialist, Periscope Ryan. Ryan, I'm so excited to find out all of the information you have for us to see all the latest gadgets. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm really excited, and as you said, I'm scoping this Blab live right now, and I've got a couple people saying, what's the site? So it's blab.im and
/JennyQ, and then if they go blab.im/JennyQ, then they can come straight to it.
Yeah, exactly. You can go right to Jenny Q. That's what's so great about Blab, right? Is that you actually have a landing page, and that's the one thing about Periscope that we don't have, and you have on other tools like Meerkat and
right.
Some of the other technologies. I just found out about a new one today that streams live to Facebook, which is really interesting. But I want to keep it, about Periscope because that's what the topic is today. So, but thank you for having me on your show. I'm really excited to jump in.
No, thank you. Because you're one of the first people that I found on Periscope.
Okay.
And I was so grateful too because you were so helpful and you talked about all of the gadgets and the different ways of doing things and the reasons why you want to do different things. So thank you for all that you're giving to the live streaming community.
No doubt. I mean, it's fun for me. I've gotten so much from the community as well. I mean, bottom line is that we're all learning together. It's only 4 or 5 months, 6 months now since Meerkat started, 3 or 4 months since Periscope started. Blab is still in beta technically,
Right.
But you know, everybody migrated from Periscope over to Blab because everybody wanted to meet the people that were commenting. You know, so that's one of the, you know, and most everybody's migrated over. So it's really fun to finally be able to you know, look at everybody and see and communicate and really share ideas and concepts and like you said, like best practices. I mean, you know, and it was really easy. And we got John DeLemme in here. So John, glad to have you on. I'm really excited to see some of the guys. I actually presented at his meeting here recently, and I did a Periscope live from the front of the room. And I introduced the entire audience to Periscope. I had them log in for the first time and start Periscope while I was live, and they were jumping in, and it was like they'd seen fire for the first time. They were like, "Oh my gosh!" They couldn't believe it. You know, it was really cool. So. Yeah.
It is that reaction the first time you're live, right? One of my favorite things to do is just to be sitting with a friend who's never heard of live streaming or Periscope or Meerkat, and just hop onto someone's scope and go, please say hi to my friend and, you know, Susie or whatever. And then as soon as they hear the person go, hi Susie, they freak out. They're like, what just happened?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so fun. So Ryan, you know, one thing that I think is so interesting as we're all meeting each other now, you know, in this live streaming community and also in social media, it turns out everybody had a life beforehand.
Yes.
Who knew? And so what I want to do is just touch upon that a little bit, Ryan. Before you were Periscope, Ryan.
Yeah.
I know that you have Accelerate Marketing currently, and so tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay. So what we do, I have a digital agency here. You can see this is I'm here in downtown San Diego in the East Village. We help businesses, brands, and business owners get more customers online. And now we're focusing on we're using live stream as well to do that. And so what we do is we typically we'll start with like their reputation online. And then we'll move to potentially either doing search engine optimization or local optimization, etc. And right now, live stream is a big part of that. So yeah, that's what we do. And you know, we help businesses around the world. We've got 70 plus businesses that we help and throughout the world. And it's a blast. We've been around for going on 6+ years now, and I really enjoy it. I love
Very
it.
cool. So how many of your 70 plus clients do you have actually on live streaming now?
That's a great question. We have about 4 right now, 4 or 5. We work with a lot of the really large real estate companies. And by the way, the mission of our company is to double the size of 100 businesses every year. Like that's our goal. So we want to do that every year for at least 100 businesses. And we're just converting these guys, these businesses over that are existing customers into this concept of using live stream. So I've got, believe it or not, you know those fire extinguishers that you see in businesses that everybody has to have, and some states like Florida and California make you actually like get them like checked every year. Well, it's a kind of a blue collar type, they're live streaming every single day. So if they can live stream and they're showing how to check the fire extinguishers, they're showing, you know, how to like what's involved in checking it. They're giving safety tips. They're like, I mean, those are things that like if they can do that, I mean, and of course we're repurposing those videos, we're uploading them to YouTube, we're syndicating them out, so we're getting as much benefit from those videos as we possibly can. But I mean, if they can do it, anybody can do it, you know.
Yeah, right. No kidding. And so you said the little secret thing there is to get the same content out on multiple platforms. I think is the key, right?
Yes.
Great.
No doubt.
So we have a couple questions coming up, and I'm kind of excited to get to those. Andrea asks, Ryan, do you do anything with video email?
With video email? Okay. What we actually do is like. People have subscribed to Periscope Ryan and Livestream Blueprint now.com, and when you do, you know, you get a little a freebie. Like you get with, you know, for the PeriscopeRyan.com, you basically get like all the links. You know, like I typically have my Smart Lob Plus, my fisheye lens, which I'm using right now on Blab, which is a great tool to use as well, even on your desktop. A lot of people
Right.
don't know that you can do that. It's a little tip, little secret tip for you there, John. So what I was going to say is that when people opt in, we can then, and you can opt in, by the way, to either livestreamblueprint.com or periscoperyan.com by texting your name and email and the word either blueprint or Periscope to 58885. And when you do that, we get the person's cell phone number, and then with our system, we can actually send out a video MMS message. So,
Oh, nice.
so isn't that cool? So
That's way cool.
Yeah, so we can actually do video as well and email, and that's been done a long time ago. But now, what's really cool is in Canada, the U.S., we can now send a specific little 30-second or less MMS to all the people that have subscribed, and really have some fun with that, and also pictures. So all the stuff that you can do with text messaging, now you can do with text message automation, with text message systems.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So I did drop those links in the chat window, livestreamblueprint.com and periscoperyan.com. For the replay viewers, it's spelled exactly how it sounds.
Yep.
So you can contact Ryan that way. So here's another question Jolene Moody had for you, Ryan.
Yes.
How do you get Perry followers to flock to your scope to retain 40 plus, 200 plus, 500 plus, etc.?
Okay, how do you get Perry followers to flock to your scope?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a couple of ways to do that. I mean, so there's two questions. I think another question that would be good to ask is, how do I get my Periscope people over to Blab, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. This is how I did it. I mean, it was interesting the first time, and I'll answer that question first because it's really easy. I mean, it's just a matter of like doing a live Periscope and then saying, hey, I'm live on Blab right now. And when I did that with Sean, when I interviewed him probably a month and a half ago, it was like everybody just flocked over because they wanted to be interactive. They wanted to talk. They wanted to communicate. And so how do I get how do I get people? In other words, I think what she's saying is how do I get the number of people that are on my scopes to be as many as possible? I mean, right? That's,
and to retain them. I think also the second part is to retain them.
To retain them. That's a great question. Okay. And that's, by the way, I was just talking about it the other day, is when do you know when to stop? I know when to stop when I see that number kind of dwindling down. So you'll see this little rise, and it usually happens about the 2 to 3 minute mark. And that's why I always recommend that you start with the PETA acronym, which is you want to identify the problem in the title. You want to irritate the problem. By the time you do those two things, you're about a minute to 2 minutes into it. And then that way people aren't griping and moaning about, oh my gosh, get to the answer, because you're setting it up. You're identifying the problem, you're irritating, you're talking about what would happen if you don't address it, and then you give the takeaway, the A, or the takeaway, which is the T, so it's problem, P-I-T-A, takeaway, and then you get the call to action at the end. You know, to get the download, go to periscoperyan.com or whatever. But so just in doing that, you can get people to retain a little bit longer. But you want to time it so that when you get that peak of people there, because somebody on my scope today was like, well, I'm not going to wait till 2 minutes because Shailene did a scope and she asked her people and everybody was like, no, they don't want to stay till that long. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to start like giving the answer until I see that the people have peaked. I want to give it I want to wait till the room fills. And again, you start with the P, the I, and then by the time you get to the T, the room's filled. Because it's about 45 seconds to a minute into it, and then you give really good value, and then you just keep giving value, you keep giving tips. I mean, if you really want to continue it, have an extra tip that you give. But for me, it's not so much keeping people in the room. And by the way, I will note that in Meerkat, it's a little different. When you get into a room, people on Meerkat hang out. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is.
It's so interesting, right? Totally different cultures.
Totally. It's like, and so you get this rise, and then you get this plateau, and that plateau, I mean, you could camp out for days and just keep going. Whereas Periscope now, I started at about I rose up to about 45 today, just now, and then basically it just like dropped off, and now it's at around like 12 to 16, and you get this rise, and then you get this drop off, and then it maintains this really low drop off level. Whereas Meerkat seems to rise, and then it'll peak, and then it'll kind of keep going and going and going.
Right.
And so it's kind of interesting. I mean, it all has to do with this. I think the search algorithm that Meerkat and how people find, like the live streams on Meerkat versus Twitter or versus Periscope, and it's really interesting to just kind of note that. So the answer to your question is just you get to that peak and you give the takeaway, and then you give maybe another one and another one, or you talk about what you're going to be talking about next week, or yeah.
Is PETA, is that your formula?
No, that's a great question, and I have to do credit where credit's due. It's David Sprague. Follow David is actually, he's kind of one of my mentors, and I use that for all content. So it doesn't really matter, even on a landing page.
I was going to say, I can totally picture that in a blog too.
Yeah, a blog post. Oh, no, that's how we create blog posts. Is that you've got
wow, brilliant there.
It's the basic structure. It's the basic structure for every piece of content, really. So if you follow that structure, it really works. It does. In
the same topic, then, what have you found to be the perfect length of a scope? So on average, right? I understand that you kind of go with the tide. Yep. And the flow of the followers. Yep. But on average, how long do your scopes last then?
That's a great question. It depends. Because if it peaks out and we just keep going and it keeps and it ebbs and it keeps rising, I'll stay on typically, unless I have to jump off. Like I'll stay on as long as as long as people are still on and they're engaging with me, and as long as I don't see that big drop off. If I'm just giving one quick, takeaway, and I just want to, it's like 5 to 10 minutes, and I know Skip, if he's in here, he's on my team, he's gonna laugh at me. He calls me the king of long scopes. Like I go so long, and I don't mean to. It's just I get engaging. I see the comments, and then I eventually want to keep going. I just want to keep the conversation going and answer the questions, because that's the biggest part of this, is the engagement, is the fact that we can actually communicate,
Right. So as long as you have questions, you'll stay engaged?
Well, not just questions, but also, I think it's more than that, Jenny. It's also, again, I mean, if I see it's really leveling off, then I'll try to get off. How long do you think long is? Yeah, I think long is 30, 45 minutes is definitely pretty long for a scope, Yeah, for sure.
So here's another question, and I really would like to say this person's name correctly, Casa Chiesi. Do you envision Blab reaching the same numbers as Periscope in the near future?
Yes, I do, and the reason why is they're different. Until Periscope, and even the Cameo on Meerkat, which is the best attempt that I've seen other than Blab to actually bring other people in, until there's some way to bring other people in, and we're using this technology, by the way, phenomenally. I mean, it's amazing what you can do. You can see, I can, as a realtor, I can show a property just in this little box, and I could actually have 3 properties being shown at the same time in 3 different boxes, and have buyers in a hot seat, which is exactly what we're doing. So, and that's really, really powerful. So, I see it, unless Periscope does something to have a couple of things. You need a landing page. We need a landing page where we can schedule out our Periscopes and let people know when they're going to happen. We need we need an embed feature. Very shortly, this is the sleeper. This is the thing that people are not thinking about. The thing that is so powerful about Blab is that they are on the mark when Sean has told us that he is focusing 100% of his efforts right now on getting that embed code to work, because it is a game changer. Make no mistake about it. When I can drive traffic to a embedded Blab with the comments on my website, and I can put below that an opt-in page, and I can put below that all the properties that are available, and I can send people to that page, and I can get all the Google love and the time on site on my page using the embed.
Absolutely.
It's a game changer. And when people can opt in on that page, in the page, if you guys are listening, if you like that, give us a thumbs up, because that right there is a absolute game changer. And you cannot, and until Periscope does that and starts thinking along those lines, I'm spending a lot more of my time on Blab, because I like the engagement. You saw me in the beginning. I was the guy who was like using all these crazy gadgets because I was like, I like Periscope. I just don't like the fact that I can't bring other people into the conversation with me. And then Blab came along because I've been using Hangouts and other tools for years, and those tools were inadequate because I could not start them on a smartphone. Okay?
Right, for sure. And so I have another question over here, and I'm afraid that let me go up. So what tips would you give brand new scopers in order to increase their following? We have a viewer who's saying that she can get a ton of followers on Blab, but she's having difficulty on Periscope.
Okay, first of all, I'm a gadget guy. I'm gonna say, like, it's so funny, like, to see, like I saw my friend Allison today. She's awesome. She was a wedding planner, but now she's doing consulting and blah blah. Beautiful woman. She's just like, she's on Periscope. She's got all my tools. I hope she's watching, and she's got the Olo clip and everything, and she's starting to use them, and it was just like, whoa! Like, she put the Olo clip on, and it was like immediately everybody was like, wow! Like, look at like just getting a couple of tools that will expand the capabilities of your scope. Well, it doesn't matter if you're beautiful or, look, somebody said I'm not a beautiful, we're all beautiful in our own way. You don't have to, it's not just physical beauty, it's inward, you know what I'm saying? And because somebody's
I totally know what you're saying.
You know?
Yeah, be you. Let that energy and that joy and that everything
come out, and that's what and we've talked about this a lot. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but Ryan, I was making a joke. Okay, I didn't see that, Sonia. So I'm looking at the comments here on Periscope as well. So
good.
So what's interesting though is that yeah, that's what people are buying. If you're transparent and you're telling people and really coming from the heart, people can see that, and it's like, look, and if you got passion. And that's why I'm saying, like, what do you do that's unique that nobody else? And I'm passionate about this stuff, like this is what I'm passionate about, and I think that comes through in how I deliver it, and that's what. And if you find that, then people are going to naturally flock to you, and as long as you have, in addition to that, I would say you don't have to have tools, but it does help. I think the other thing is schedule them out, have a schedule for when you're going to be scoping.
Can we pause right there?
Yeah.
So do you think that having a regular Periscope schedule is pertinent to Periscope success?
I think it does augment it. It will help.
Okay.
If you were doing all the things, like, I don't have a schedule. My scheduled live streams are on Blab because they have a platform for me. They have a scheduling platform for me.
Right.
So
right.
This is my home base, and I know that it's ubiquitous. Like, most people now know if everybody on Periscope knows about Blab now. So this is my home base for when people want to communicate, And so, like, it really is. This is my home base for when people want to see me eye to eye and they want to engage with me. And so, but if I was just focusing on Periscope, I might start like scoping regularly every morning at 9 a.m. if I really wanted to focus on that. And the other thing is I would make sure that obviously the fundamentals, the foundational stuff, like that your profile is keyword optimized, that you've got all your words in there on how you want people to be able to find you, like interior designer or whatever it is that and put your city in there and other pertinent information so that people can actually find you. Obviously, make sure you have your location setting on if you're at your place of business. You don't mind if people if you don't mind if people actually see you, because that does help. I have a lot of people that find me in San Diego because they just see me on the map, and they're right here in San Diego. Yeah, and they just see, they just see me on the map, and then they're like, oh, I'm just down the street. I'm like, cool, it's like, and that's going to happen more and more often. There's probably about 11 to 12 million people on Periscope.
That is nothing. That is nothing, right?
Yeah, right. It's nothing. It was so new.
Worldwide.
It's so new, and that's what I'm saying. Like, over time, we're going to see that it's going to, like, these little things are going to make a big difference. Like the tweeting it out and actually using things like hashtags, that will help as well, because it's going to broaden your reach. And we got Steven just jumped in the house. He's a live streaming awesome dude. So
Stephen Caggiano is an all-time favorite.
He is.
Okay, so I have a question over here on the side. Mr. Longfellow wants to know, is the Rode the only lav mic that you've used?
It's the only, no, I've been doing this for years. I mean, 5 years ago, I got the whole, I mean, I'll show you all my, you guys have all seen
This is what I love. I love this about your scopes. You're always moving around. You're showing us everything in your world. Look, there he goes. Bam!
So look, so this tripod, this kind of stuff, this was actually the one that I used 5 years ago. I mean, I've got a video that I uploaded to YouTube, and when people were not even thinking about this stuff, I used a tripod with my then iPhone 2. And I used a Audio-Technica 2250 or whatever it was, and it had the battery, and the battery would die, and you know, that's the beauty of the Smart Lab Plus. There's no battery. I have used a ton of them. I've used almost all of them, not all of them. I'm sure there's some that I haven't used, but that's the benefit that you get by going to Periscope Ryan, is I've spent all the money, I've spent all the time, I've gone through all the headaches of testing all this stuff out, so you don't have to go and do all that. But basically, I've got videos where I teach people how to use all these gadgets, and I got one video that has like 30,000 views on it over the past 2-3 years, because people have wanted to do this. Now it's even more relevant because it's now live. It's live streaming, and it's real time, and it's fast paced. But don't buy the Rode. Wait. Why are you saying don't buy the Rode? It sucks. That is so false. I mean, I can tell you right now, the Rode is absolutely the best. If you can tell me another one that's even close to that, I've tried them all. So I repost and you don't read the whole comment. I'm out. Wait, so go ahead.
No, Ryan, can we go ahead and move on? So what I'd like to talk about here is, do you foresee an imminent live stream tool for all Facebook users before the year end?
A ubiquitous live stream, what was that?
An imminent live stream tool for all Facebook users before the year end.
An eminent.
Do you foresee that, because we've got the Facebook Moments. Do you see it being rolled out for every user?
That being rolled out for every user? Yeah, I mean, all this stuff's going to be rolled out. There's no question about it. They're just going to, all these platforms are going to become, they're going to morph. They're going to add more features. Some are adding them more rapidly than others. Meerkat's been in the game longer. They've got some really cool features that I would absolutely love Periscope to have, which is like the fact that you can show a picture and you can blow it up. It's almost like you can show slides. I mean, it's like it's amazing. Like you can literally you can share pictures right from your phone deck of all the pictures you got,
nice.
Which is really cool. So, but
Very
yeah,
cool.
all this stuff is going to be launched, and I think that we're going to see something from Periscope eventually at some point, where even in the platform that you're going to be able to bring somebody else in. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking that that's going to happen at some point, but. And until that happens, this is the platform for me for doing that for sure.
And before we open it up for viewers to jump in, I would love to have you tell us about your live stream blueprint. I'm going to drop the link in here.
Oh, thanks.
And tell us about that. I know you're really excited about it, and it looks really exciting.
Well, I mean, thanks, Jenny. Here's the thing. I mean, I don't want to be too. I mean. Here's the deal, live stream blueprint I really have always wanted to teach and coach, and one of the things that I do and what we're doing is I'm giving businesses, and this first group is going through for free. We're in our second week. We just had our second meeting last night, and each session is 1 hour for a total of 4 hours over a 4-week period, and at the end, we're going to give everybody that's in that, we're going to give them their own landing page, exactly like PeriscopeRyan.com.
Wow.
And we're going to give everybody their own text message keyword opt-in. So type the word Periscope or text the word Periscope to 58885. And I mean, how can you beat that? I mean, and so what you have is you've got a system, you've got a funnel and a way to be able to connect to your followers. And we're doing this. We'll give you access to it for free. We're going to help you build what we call a lead magnet, which is, look, everything else in terms of digital marketing is basically just a traffic hack. And what I mean by that is just a hack to try to get more traffic to your website. And really traffic, and this is what I share in the course, and this is what I learned as a digital marketer certified agency. Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher, those guys, they have digital marketing. So we're certified by them to teach the customer value optimization strategy, which is which is this funnel. And these guys, who better to learn from than the guys that are making millions of dollars every year, not just teaching this stuff, but they're actually using it for websites like Survival Guide, and they've got 4 or 5 sites that they test these strategies out on. They know what's working, and because I had an employee that just came to work for me, and he was going to spend $31,000 to learn basically online marketing at some Full Sail university or whatever. And I'm like, man, I don't want to learn from a college. I'd rather learn from somebody that's actually doing it and is actually
exactly.
And so that's what we're doing. We're actually teaching businesses and entrepreneurs what's working, how to set up a funnel, how to create a lead magnet, which is just like what I have, which is the links for all the stuff. I mean, that was the lowest hanging fruit that I had. I mean, it was and I sent all these these things to other people, and now. So somebody just opted in, I guess Nazim, Beltram, whatever. So that's really cool. So I mean, there you go. I mean, that's the power of the system is that now he's going to connect with me, and now I can send him information directly, and we've got a connection now. And that's the same thing that if I were a business owner, I would want for myself. So I'm only teaching business owners based on the years of experience I have in digital marketing, what I would want for them if I were in their shoes. What I would want if I were in their shoes, knowing what I know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and it's very generous of you.
Yeah, it's cool. Oh, we got Jacob Sapochnik. So I just gotta say, Jacob Sapochnik. If you guys don't know this guy, he is he's a live streaming legend lawyer. He is. There's not many guys that I know that are attorneys. He's one of the only guys. He's the only attorney actually that has a live. He can actually stream live on Facebook, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Well, welcome.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to open up the seats. We don't have time for a lot of questions, but I definitely want to give those of you a chance who just have a question for Ryan to jump in. All you have to do is click join, and you can jump in. In the meantime, Ryan, is there a difference if people go to periscoperyan.com, what will they find different than livestreamblueprint.com?
Okay, great question. Okay. So hopefully we got Costa, Chisi, and I want to get Jacob. I want to say hi to Jacob. I haven't seen Jacob. There he is. There he is.
How are you?
What's up, brother?
Hi, Jacob. Thanks for coming in. And Casa Chisi is jumping in as well.
Awesome.
Surviving the heat.
Right? Do you have AC over there?
I do have, yeah. But it's not working well.
Oh my gosh.
Jacob, where are you calling in from?
I'm in San Diego. I'm his neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's just down the street.
Yeah.
So did Ryan introduce you to live streaming?
No.
Well, Ryan introduced me to some cool tools. I'm using that kind of stuff. Where is that? But yeah, I've been. I was doing Periscoping for maybe 2 months after it started, and I tried Meerkat. I tried My Eye. Like Ryan said, my personal preference is the Facebook live stream. I feel it's gives me a lot of but I use them all.
Well, why don't you tell? I mean, this is interesting. I mean, tell him. Don't be shy, Jacob. Tell him that he's being very he's built up his following on Facebook. Now, the thing I like to share with people is that I've got attorneys that are scratching their head. They're they're not even thinking about live streaming, and that's the opportunity. But guys like Jacob that are actually using this technology, and Mitch, who you guys have all seen in the Blab community. Yeah. These guys are doing 1 or 2 live streams, and they're getting a client just about for every live stream that they do. I mean, so
one client per live stream.
I mean, at least. I mean, I was telling Ryan about a live stream we did, and we had actually several people that watched that. I think it was my second one, and it was so interesting because they kind of felt that we are opening the behind the scenes in a way, right? Mm-hmm. So they'll connect with us, and they just want to get more information because it's an attorney or think about a physician or somebody you don't have access to on a regular basis. Somebody on the live stream, you open the door, kind of like, I'm in my office right now. I'm sitting in my, it's a Friday, but you can see what's happening in the back. I mean, normally I wouldn't let anybody come to my office. I'll meet them in a conference room, right? And now you can be in my office. You can see my basketball, my and that people like that. And I think it's the access, the key here, because it's a new medium. And we talked about it before, and it's just that it's very powerful because right now there's no edits, there's no filter. It's just me sitting here in my office.
Yeah, it's very powerful. And I think, a couple of questions up. Do you think it's because you're an early adopter? Yes, and also because he's doing what he's doing right there. He's being transparent, and people know him. They get to know the Jacob behind, that's outside of the courtroom. And when they get to know him as that person, and Mitch talks about this a lot, is that, and it's not just him on a billboard, saying,
right.
Come to my person, and he doesn't do personal injury, but he's an immigration, attorney. But basically,
right.
it doesn't matter if you're a PI attorney. It doesn't matter. It's bottom line, it doesn't matter if you're an attorney or a dentist, for that matter. It applies universally that people just want to know. They want to be, they want to be connected with people that they feel like they can. And it goes back to the know, like, trust, factor that we all talk about. So
right, and I want to point this out. Katie Lance just joined us, and she also pointed out that he's also consistent. He didn't try it just once.
Right. Yes.
You mean you talk about me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, for example, the nice thing about live streaming that I've noticed is not only do it consistently, but also do it in different times. So I've tried live streaming in the morning. I've tried it during the day, and yesterday we did one in the evening. I don't know if you saw that one, Ryan. Where I was at the same coffee shop where we met,
right?
And we had a comedy show on the street. The first one we've done in San Diego. We're gonna do it every Thursday, by the way. So I'll invite you next time.
Okay.
And I live stream at 6 p.m. And it was just unbelievable. We had a lot of reach. People were commenting, and I got actually a lot of personal messages on Facebook after the show, because I guess it was in the evening, and I it was unannounced. I was just sitting in a coffee shop. Nobody expected me to do this, and so I think experimenting with live streaming is really, really important, because there's not one formula. You got to do it in different times. You got to do it with different people. I had a guest. I used the wide angle based on this guy's recommendation.
Yep.
What is that? Thank you.
Jacob, you bring up a good point. You bring up a really good point about experimenting. So, Ryan, if you could address that. Oh, there it is.
There's one. That's the Yopo clip.
Look at this thing. This was sent to me, Ryan. Somebody sent to me. Somebody saw my live stream, and they mailed this thing to me for free. It's a company. It's not a. It's like a.
It's a knockoff of the Olo.
It's an independent shop.
Yeah.
It's not a brand.
Right.
And they sent this to me, and I used it yesterday. It's
good.
It's a wide angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of very cool, because what it does.
I know, it clips on.
What it does, it makes kind of like a wide space, but it doesn't make it curved.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Oh,
and,
cool.
So.
I like that.
I want to talk about that point you brought up about, and I want to ask Ryan. So he mentioned experimenting.
Yeah.
With different times, different locations, different lenses, etc.
Yes.
Can you speak to that and the relevance to that for success in live streaming, number one?
Yeah.
And number two, what keeps people from experimenting?
Yeah, it's just fear. I mean, is what keeps you, because people. I think in my opinion. I mean, I might be wrong, but I mean, people don't want to be ridiculed. People don't want to be go out there and go on a limb, because then people. But you know what? Look, my whole philosophy is fail fast. Like, I want to fail as fast as I can, because I know that I mean, I seriously, like, I want to fall on my face and then just get right back up and be like, okay, I learned. Okay, now I'm not gonna do it that way again. Now at least I know which way to go. And then the other thing is that in terms of like mixing things up. I mean, that's what I did. That's what I always do with all these new little is I want to mix it up. When I'm walking around, I'm constantly walking around, because when I change the backdrop and I have a really interesting backdrop, it keeps people engaged. That's the other thing, is that's why I always have my titles set up. That's a really good tip for all you guys, whether you're blabbing or doing anything. If you got the titles ready, when you've got a phenomenal sunset going on, or you
nice.
You know what I'm
Then
saying?
you can go right away.
What's that?
And then you can just do it right away.
Right away. And then you're
I see some questions here. For some reason, I can't. I'm using this this computer here. My screen is weird. I can't see all the comments, but I think somebody's asking me about the brand of this thing, and somebody's asking about the quality. So the quality was pretty good, I think. This thing, I think it's less good than the Aldo.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But I have another one here, and I tried it this morning, and this one is actually a fish eye.
Yeah.
But they kind of temper with it, so you can see the
rounding. Yeah.
And it kind of does like you look like in a movie, like in a.
I know.
So I think what would be cool if somebody invents a tool where you can flip those lenses while you live stream without creating too much of
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
Jacob,
we're getting too technical here. But.
Yeah, good.
we're getting, it's not that we're getting too technical, but I can't believe we are already almost out of time.
Okay.
And so, Jacob, I want to thank you so much for jumping in.
Just want to say hi to her. I didn't mean to hijack.
No, you didn't hijack at all, but I'm going to come find you on Facebook so I can watch your Facebook live streaming stuff.
Yeah.
So let me put it here. So this is our law firm.
Go ahead and type that. I'm going to close up this seat so that I can wrap up with Ryan.
Okay.
But please drop that in the link.
There we go.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, have a great day, Jacob.
I'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So, Ryan.
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure we covered the difference between what people find when they go to periscope.ryan.com
Okay.
and livestreamblueprint.com.
Yeah. So basically, the difference is periscoperyan.com is where you go in order to get the links for all the gadgets, like that's you know, and then basically we have an opportunity where people can actually get like a video uploaded to YouTube if they want as well. And then Livestream Blueprint is the membership site. So it's our membership site where people go in order to basically learn how to live stream as a business owner or a brand to get more customers. So there are two different things. One is more for the gadgets. And the other one is for like how do I get more customers using Livestream? What platform is best for me? Is it Blab? Is it Meerkat? Is it Periscope? Is it My Eye? Whatever,
Perfect. I love that. I've just dropped those in the comments as well.
So
Ryan, thank you so much for joining. Before we go, I have something that I do every day. I have here on my desk a handful of questions that I may or may not get a jar for someday. It's just fun.
Okay.
So do you want to play?
Yes.
Okay. So what am I going to do one day when someone goes, no, I don't want to play that? Okay. So you get one pass, okay? I'm just drawing one randomly. You get a pass. If it's stupid, if it's boring, whatever, you can pass.
Okay.
Or too personal.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Oh, what's your favorite sport?
Oh my God, that's easy. Well, anything involving water. So basically, anything involving water. So either kite surfing, paddleboarding, surfing.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I kite surf. That's one of the things. So you saw on one of my periscopes, I was the first guy to ever live stream while I was catching a wave. So I literally brought like 70 people on a wave with me.
Beautiful.
My next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them kite surfing and catch waves while I'm kite surfing with my live stream community. So that's going to be fun.
That is awesome. So there's two takeaways there.
Yeah.
Anything with water, Ryan's favorite sport. Number two, scope your passion.
Yes.
Very good.
That's
Very
it.
good.
Right?
Ryan, thank you so much. The time went way too fast. I know we probably have 100 more questions for you, but thank you. If people want to connect with you, the best place is?
Just you can go to periscoperyan.com or go to livestreamblueprint.com.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for your time.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thanks for coming tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's the weekend. We have the day off. But on Monday, I have